Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Welcome in. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabssi on this late night podcast. We appreciate you being here with us. Hawks lose 7-3 to the Seattle Kraken. Kraken got a touchdown. The Hawks can only muster a field goal. And we're going to get into it. Before we do, make sure you smash that like button for us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page as well. If you're listening on the podcast app, make sure you're following or subscribe there as well. And, of course, we always encourage those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you can knock one of those out for us, it takes 15 seconds. We would greatly appreciate that as well. And, of course, join us in the chat. A lot of news to get to in this one as well, but fellas, let's just get to the game and get it over with. Boy, a night after we praised Petr Mrazek for not being awful, he was awful in this game. He was like Denny Lemieux in the first game in Slapshot, just flailing all over the place and falling down. And it's always tough to blame goalies after losses, but dude, come up with a tough save. Just one tough save the entire night. I would have loved to see it.
Yeah, Seattle's in his head, I think, because wasn't it Seattle that scored like 5 goals on 6 shots against him the last time he faced him?
Yes. Yeah, 6 first period goals, 4 of them against Mrazek, and then 2 more against Stalock.
Yeah, 6 goals on 7 shots. I remember that game.
Yeah, that was a dumb game. This one was dumb, but not as dumb. I mean, the talent gap is major between these two teams right now. And if Seattle gets any kind of goaltending in the playoffs, they're going to be a tough team to get rid of, because I'm not saying they're going on a deep run, but man, they are big, they're fast, they're deep, they're relentless. They just keep coming at you. They were up 2 goals in the third period, and they were still attacking the puck, trying to cause turnovers, making shots. If they get any kind of goaltending, I just don't know if I'm confident going into any playoff series with either Philip Grubauer or Martin Jones as my goaltender. That's their weakest link, and it's probably going to get exposed come in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah, you can't have 2 goaltenders sub 900 save percentage and really have a lot to hang your hat on going into the postseason. No. It's great that they've turned it around from last year. What was it, 36, now probably 38 point difference from last year to this year. They're in the playoffs, but you're not going to score 6, 7, 8 goals a night in the postseason. You might do it once. You're not going to do it for a whole series. So they're going to need either one of those guys to step up. And yeah, tonight, this for all we've praised Mrazek recently, this was the Mrazek that I think we saw at the through the middle stretch of the season, where it was just like you said, Jay, like just make one save. It's just one would have been nice. Would it have made a difference in a 7-3 game? No, but at least you feel a little bit better.
It's like flailing wildly, no clue where the puck is. It was almost like he was kind of like begging Luke Richardson to take him out at some point. Like, I don't know. And look, there were a lot of kind of some weird bounces and some weird, like, of course, like those things are going to happen. And of course, I'm not putting this entire game on Petr Mrazek, but This is one where they start to come back, right? They cut it. They're down 1. They score the power play goal. And then on the 5-on-3, and then right away, the breakaway goal. And look, you never blame a goalie for a breakaway, but if he makes a breakaway save, it's still a 1-goal game. So you have all this momentum of coming back. You get the power play, you score the goal. All right, we're feeling good. We're down 1, and then moments later, it's gone. And it's just, it's frustrating. And I think, as much as a goalie can pick you up in a game and make a huge save and like, all right, good, we probably didn't deserve that save to be made. Let's go. Let's repay him. There's times where a goalie can really kind of sink the hopes and the spirits of the team. And I feel like this was one of those nights. And again, it's not all his fault, but this is about as bad as I've seen him look all year.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was you would have hoped for a little bit more out of him, especially the way he's recently been playing. But yeah, you're not hanging all 7 on him. He was getting not a lot of help from the defense in front of him, especially the Tenorti Kaiser pairing. I mean, on paper, you wouldn't expect that to go well, and then on the ice, it did not go well. And look, I think there's only so much you can blame Blackhawks goaltenders at this point, given the team that's playing in front of them, and especially now. We'll get into it in a little bit, but the team that's going to be in front of them these final 3 games, without Alex Vlasic, without Lukas Reichel, yeah, I mean, it's just you're playing teams that are just overmatching you. You get Kirill Kaprizov back for the Wild on Monday, like, okay, like that's great. It's good luck to Alex Stalock, and then you got the Penguins, which I think they're still, without looking at it, I think they're still in the postseason hunt on Tuesday, and then the Flyers in the last game, 2 teams that are completely out of it. So who knows? Anything could happen last game of the year. But yeah, I mean, it's just at this point of the season, there's only so much you can do, and there's only so much you can hang on Mrazek. So yeah, you want him to make a couple more saves, but again, against a Seattle team that was offensively just took it to the Blackhawks in all 3 games of the season. Yeah, it's hard to hang all of it on him.
It's interesting. You mentioned the Kraken and like the goaltending is going to be their downfall, and you're probably right, but like there's still like there's not a team in the West that I'm totally in love with.
Avalanche have been pretty damn good the last 3 weeks,
and Edmonton's looking really good lately too. By the way, Connor McDavid became the 6th player in NHL history to score 150 points today. Dude's unreal. But I my point being is more like, yeah, I think Colorado is still the favorite in the West, but it's not like them, and it's not like it was last year.
No,
where it was like them and everybody else. Like you can see a team stealing a series from them, or if injuries pop up on the Avs again, as they have kind of all year. Seattle's a team that can make some noise. If they got like average goaltending, if you're looking at like a 900 save percentage from either of those guys, from Jones or Grubauer, maybe you could start having a conversation. But yeah, I just neither of those guys scare me in a series, and I don't think they've got the defensive horses. They don't have that dude, right? They don't have the Hedman, the Duncan Keith, the kind of guy who's going to play, 25, 27, 30 minutes of a playoff game and shut things down. They're deep and they're good. I feel like they're like a key free agent away from being true contenders in the West.
Yeah, I don't see either of those goalies getting it done for them. And did you guys watch the I think it was the first intermission when they asked Scott Darling, like, which of these goaltenders do you want? And it was like the weirdest answer. Like he wasn't prepared for the question. It was like, well, Martin Jones, he's already got a Stanley Cup, so you can't have 2. So I'll go with Philip Grubauer. I'm like, wait, what?
Well,
like when did Martin Jones win a Stanley Cup? Was he a backup on one of those Kings teams? Didn't see the ice the entire postseason? And who says you can't win 2 or 3?
Well, Scott Darling didn't win 2.
Right. Well, that's why the Blackhawks had to trade him. You're not allowed to win 2.
Yeah,
I was just like, what kind of answer is that? Like,
it was a weird.
Oh, he did win a cup, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was the backup for one of those.
The 2014 Kings.
Yeah, he's got his name on the cup. I don't think he played a second of that postseason, but whatever. So yeah, with Seattle, they're a good team. I don't know. The West, as you said, is going to be fun. I'm still not betting against the Avalanche just because they've played the last 2 or 3 weeks, their last 14 games or so. They've looked like that wagon that we saw all last year. They're getting it together at the right time, and maybe with the injuries, and also some of the guys could have been like, hey, you know what? We just got to get to the playoffs. We know what it takes now. I wouldn't bet against them. Minnesota. How many times have we seen Minnesota have a really good regular season, then pee down their leg in the playoffs? Yeah. Marc-Andre Fleury is going to do what he's done in the last 5 or 6 postseasons, and by game 5 of the series, not be playing anymore. It just seems that's what he does. So, Dallas, I don't know. I'm not sold on them. They've got a nice mix of veterans and young guys, but Jake Ottinger has had his ups and downs this year. So, I think it's going to come down to Avalanche and Edmonton, and we'll see what happens from there. And you mentioned the Penguins, who the Hawks are going to play on Tuesday. That wild card in the East is crazy. The top 6 is set. You got the Panthers and the Islanders with 91 points. The Penguins have 90 points, and they all have 2 games left. So that is basically an elimination game for the Penguins against the Blackhawks. So
do or
good
die.
luck with that. I mean, I wouldn't be terribly upset if the Blackhawks played spoiler and ruined their season. And speaking of the Penguins, Alex Nylander called up and scored the first goal of the game, saving the Pittsburgh Penguins season. Better late than never for Alex Nylander.
His first goal in the NHL since pre-pandemic.
Somebody in my timeline after I tweeted that out said that just like Ryan Hartman, Alex Nylander is going to be a late bloomer. All right, let's pump the brakes on that. It's 1 goal in 3 years. I think.
Yeah, let's settle down.
Yeah, and Ryan Hartman got a season playing with Kirill Kaprizov the whole time. He hasn't played with Kaprizov this season. How are those numbers looking?
By the way, I looked today to see what the Oilers were to win the West. It's only plus 300. I was thinking it would be longer odds than that, but they've been playing so well. But there's a lot of money coming in for them.
There's probably a lot. That's got more to do with how many people are betting them than what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Oilers came up against that Avalanche team last year where, like we said, it just seemed like the talent gap between that Avalanche team last year and the rest of the conference was significant. This year, I don't see it as much. And look, you got McDavid, you got Draisaitl. It mentioned in the chat, Matthias Ekholm has been a great kind of under the radar addition for them. And we talked about it for Edmonton the last few seasons. It was just you have McDavid and Draisaitl, but you need defense and goaltending. Addressing defense was good, and hey, I mean, goaltending wise, if they can, they're kind of like Seattle. If they can get just average goaltending, the Oilers are going to be a tough team. So, as much as the West doesn't have the horses that the East does, it's still going to be competitive. It's still going to be a really good series. And I think whoever does come out of the West, they're still going to have to go through a tough path. And I think it'll be fun. Any playoffs is fun in the NHL. So especially being able to watch it as a bystander this year and not have to sweat every Blackhawks game out. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to watch the playoffs that way again.
Look, I'd much rather watch a playoff series where either team has a shot to win it. And the West, it's no fun when you kind of know who's going to do it every year, Mm-hmm. So the Western playoffs are going to be great this year because they can all go long, they can all be close, they can all be really competitive.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the West more than the East, to be honest with you. Even though there's some juggernauts there, I'm really curious to see how it's going to shake out.
Yeah,
we should get back to the Hawks news of the day.
Oh yeah,
and you mentioned it a second ago. Lukas Reichel and Alex Vlasic. A bit of a change of plan. This had been the plan for Vlasic all along, was to go back down to Rockford after the road trip. Last week, they said Reichel was going to play the entire season, the rest of the season in Chicago, then go to Rockford. But because things have not been going quite well for the Ice Hawks, they're going to pull that cord a little bit sooner. So Lukas Reichel and Alex Vlasic will head to Rockford after this game. So they're on their, maybe not physically on their way now, but they will be tomorrow. To try to pull that thing for the playoffs.
They get to have beefaroo for Easter, lucky boys. Yeah, I looked this up during the second intermission. When Lukas Reichel was recalled to the Blackhawks on March 2nd, the Rockford Ice Hawks had an 11-point cushion over the Chicago Wolves as far as the last playoff spot. It's down to 1 point.
Wow.
So they've lost. The Wolves have gained 10 points on the Ice Hogs since Lukas Reichel came up March 2nd, so a little over a month. That's how bad it's been for the Ice Hogs. And they play the Wolves Tuesday night. That's why they're like, hey, Lukas, come score a few goals for us. Yeah. They just can't score any goals.
And this was a Wolves team that at the midway point of the year was last place. Like, so the Wolves have really turned it on in the second half of the season,
Well,
and the Ice Hogs are just, like you said, Greg, offensively inept.
Yeah, and it's been, Reichel's going to help. Vlasic will be good on the back end. They traded for Rocco Grimaldi, who was one of the league's leading scorers, and he really hasn't done a whole lot since coming here. So maybe you get Grimaldi and Reichel on the same line, and you see what happens. But it's the right move. It's a great move because the Ice Hogs need them. They have a 1 point cushion to make that play-in series. With 4 games to go, both the Wolves and the Ice Hogs have 4 games left. Ice Hogs play the Wolves, then they play, I believe they have 2 more games against Milwaukee and then Manitoba, or maybe I'm missing a game in there. Well, Milwaukee,
they lost to Milwaukee tonight.
Right, they beat them last night in Milwaukee, lost to Milwaukee at home in Rockford tonight, and I believe the last game of the year is in Milwaukee. But they need to get something going, and that game against the Wolves on Tuesday is going to be a huge, huge game for the Ice Hogs. If they lose that, woof,
it's not going to be bad. Good. They host the Wolves on like you said, Tuesday night. Then next Friday they are in Grand Rapids. Then
last place, Grand Rapids.
Then they play the next night, Saturday, back at home against Manitoba. And then the next night, Sunday, the 16th, they finish the season on the road against Milwaukee. So 3 games in 3 nights for the Ice Hogs to finish the year.
Yeah. Well, the good news is Manitoba, Milwaukee have clinched playoff spots. I think Milwaukee is right up there with Texas to win the division. So maybe they can have that first place clinched and they'll play a bunch of ECHL guys on Sunday and
maybe.
We'll see, but they gotta win Tuesday night. You lose to the Wolves, and it's not good. And they proved earlier in this year, the middle part of the season, when they get in the offense, they're a pretty good team. Arvid Soderblom has been kind of up and down, but he's been solid of late. And just think of this: the Wolves have played the most overtime games in the AHL this season, 23. Oof, 23 geez. Times they've gone to overtime, at least overtime, and it was a lot of shootouts. So imagine, you win a couple of those extra games in regulation. This isn't even a conversation right now.
Right.
23 games going to overtime. You win 3 of those, you get a late goal in regulation, or don't give up the late goal in regulation. In 3 of those 23 games, you have a 7-point cushion, and you're talking about clinching a playoff spot against the Wolves on Tuesday, not losing one to them. So,
yeah.
Well, right in time for Lukas Reichel to come and Vlasic too, who were 2 of the best Hawks tonight. Reichel had a goal and an assist, scoring a goal in front on a redirection. That's not how I envisioned Lukas Reichel's last goal at the Hawks this year to look, but boy, it was cool to hear. Usually when we're at the studio, we're talking to each other, or we're at the game, we don't hear the commentary. Listening to Troy Murray just rave about Lukas Reichel's performance in this game and lately, he was all over the place, and Troy could not stop talking about the confidence that he's showing. There was a play in the third where he went sensed something was a miss in the defensive zone, went back right into the slot in front of Mrazek and just took a puck away. He just kind of sensed the puck was going to come there, went back, got it, and the Hawks took the puck the other way. The goal, the assist, he hit a crossbar in this game. He looked great, and someone in the chat said he was the best player on the ice for either team. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but he was definitely the best Hawk on the ice. And I'm just so we knew that Reichel was going to be a huge part of our conversation as he became part of the team, but I have such a relief knowing that as we go through the checklist of things that need to happen for the Blackhawks to be good again, that first box is checked. Lukas Reichel is a player. Lukas Reichel is good. Lukas Reichel is going to be a meaningful part and a big part of this, and probably their best player next year.
Yeah. There's a lot to like about his game, and he's still figuring things out, and I think he's figuring things out now more at a more elevated pace and at a more elevated game. It's last year seeing him, produce at the AHL level was great because it was his first taste of North American hockey after playing in Germany, and it was just like, wow, okay, this kid's really getting it. 18, 19 years old, really impressive. And then to do it again this year, and then take that next step where at the NHL level, he looks like he gets it at the NHL level as a 19, 20-year-old kid. And to the point where, he's taking more initiative and the confidence level, like Troy was saying on the broadcast, and that we've kind of pointed out in this last month and change that he's been here on this recall. Just the ability to kind of be like, okay, well, I'm going to make this play happen rather than having to defer to anybody else to try and do it. That's the kind of confidence you want to see out of a young player who's budding into someone that's going to, make an impact on your roster for hopefully a long time. And, is he going to change the franchise himself? No, but I think he's a very important piece to what the Blackhawks are trying to do. And we've made the comparison a number of times to the Cubs when they built up to the 2016 World Series. It seems like Lukas Reichel is a version of Anthony Rizzo, like one of the first players to really get excited about the next group coming in, the young guys, and the first one to come in and be like, okay, we have a guy here that's part of it. So I'm excited to see what Reichel does these last few games, taking what he's done the last month to the AHL with the Ice Hogs. Hopefully it makes a big difference. And I'm really excited to see what he does next year, having another off season to get ready for, hopefully an 82 game NHL season, and having a huge role, having a very important role for this team, not just coming in and being like, oh, he's the young call up. Like now, going into next year, it's like if I can't think of anyone else who would come in unless they sign some major free agent or something, which I don't think is in the plans. I can't see anyone else being on this roster next year and it not being Lukas Reichel's team, at least for next season, other than Connor Bedard.
Well, yes. Caveat, of course.
Yeah.
That must
remember. I've already gone out and predicted that Lukas Reichel will lead this team in points next season.
You did.
I'm not wavering from that. If he's healthy, he's going to lead the team in scoring.
I got a question from B on Twitter real quick. Oh, sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I want to give a shout out to our diehard listeners and viewers tonight. Not only are you staying up late with us, you guys are doing Cheers references in the chat. I love that. You're my people.
Yeah, good to see we got a good young hip audience watching the show tonight.
Hey,
I love Cheers.
Yeah, but
the youngsters are all out at the bar drinking.
That's true.
It's those of us in our 40s and beyond that are sitting at home struggling to stay awake.
Well, shout out to Alexandre, who's actually starting his day with us.
Yeah,
6'10".
Awesome.
I believe he's one of our fans in Portugal, right?
I believe it.
So,
yes, I believe he's our Portuguese Blackhawk diehard.
Awesome. Start your day with us.
There you go.
Nice.
You can only go up from there.
That's true.
So Jen asked on Twitter, 82 games in Chicago for Reichel next year, right? Like there's no way they're going to start him.
No. Why? For what?
I know. But
unless he looks completely bum ass in training camp, which he won't. Yeah, he starts the year and finishes the year with them.
Yeah, there's barring
Reichel will be on the ice for the opening face-off of the season. Yeah, there's no doubt. I know we all said that last year, but this is different.
Yeah, this one last year he had not shown it at the NHL level yet. This year he has absolutely done that. So,
yeah, and you're not tanking for Connor Bedard next year, so there's no excuse to not have him up here.
Right,
it's true.
Yeah, Greg, you want to tell the folks about Shady Rays?
Yeah, I can do that. Lukas Reichel has got a really bright future in front of him, and he's probably going to need a few pairs of Shady Rays. Those, I don't think those are Shady Rays, but if they are, he's got himself some of the best sunglasses in the world. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good, I say even better, than any expensive pair I've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. They are great for driving. The clarity on these glasses, I love wearing them. Even when it's not super sunny, I wear them in the car just because everything is so crisp while you're driving. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they, as in Shady Rays, has your back long after you purchase. And together with their customers, through the Shady Rays Impact Program, they are providing much needed support to nonprofit partners across the United States. Everything from donating meals to building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS. The outdoor adventure of a lifetime, Shady Rays is making an impact in your communities and others like it now and for years to come. I think that is so awesome. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And an exclusive deal for our CHGO listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and then use the promo code CHGO and you will get 50% off any order that contains 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's at least buy one, get one free. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people, including myself.
And if you're looking to save some more coin, and I'm sure you are, I think everyone on earth agrees that their cable bill is too damn high. But there might be some sports you need to watch, like the Blackhawks on NBC Sports Chicago or the Cubs on Marquee Sportsnet. And there's only one streaming service that carries both of those. And guess what? We have a deal with them, so you should check it out. It's Fubo TV, FuboTV.com/CHGO. 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. I have switched to Fubo full time. I love it. I watched the Cubs earlier. I watched the Hawks today. I was watching the Frozen 4 on ESPN2. I was all over the place on Fubo TV. If you've got an Apple TV, a Fire Stick, a Smart TV, a Roku stick, all of those things work with Fubo TV. Watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price. Start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial. No contracts, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching. 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included at no extra charge. And you can watch your local teams while traveling. Today, I was watching the Hawks on the big screen, wanted to watch the Frozen 4 on my phone. So pulled up the Fubo app, watched the Frozen 4 overtime. Didn't last long, about 10 seconds. But I was able to watch both games at the same time on separate devices. It is awesome. It is so easy. FuboTV.com/CHGO. Watch the Blackhawks on NBC Sports Chicago and the Cubs on Marquee with Fubo TV. Use the link in the description to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. FuboTV.com/CHGO. Do it. It is awesome. I love it. And the HD is beautiful, sparkling, looks wonderful. So no concerns there. Cut that cord. Join Fubo TV now. Nice. It's got everything you need.
Shout out Quinnipiac. First ever national championship tonight over Minnesota.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
That was the way they came back and took it away from Minnesota. You hate to, your heart goes out to the Gophers out there. Gophers, sorry. Really hate to see it. For a team to be the top seed in the Big Ten tournament and lose, and then to be the top seed in the NCAA tournament and lose. It's just the worst for Minnesota. It's you hate to see it. Absolutely hate to see it.
Mario very upset.
Yes, very upset.
Beloved Gophers.
You know what? Matthew Nye's he's going to get used to a lot of these playoff disappointments playing for the Maple Leafs. So it's good. It's good training for him.
Well, I wonder is he going to get the Luke Hughes treatment? Is he like reporting to Toronto right away? Is that going to happen? Like,
he could.
I don't know.
Are they tapped out with contracts?
That's a good question. They were doing some weird cat maneuvering today too. Like they signed a goalie and he was the backup, and I don't know. They're doing something. I wasn't paying too close of attention, but I saw Elliot Friedman about their cap gymnastics.
They have 49 out of 50. So technically they could add him, I guess, but I mean, do you want to if you're the Leafs? Like do you throw him in and say, "Here, go play in the postseason"? I don't know. I don't know if I do it.
Maybe the Marlies. Are the Marlies in the playoffs?
I think so.
I think they are too. Maybe he goes and plays in the Calder Cup playoffs with the Toronto Marlies.
That's a good fit. I think Luke Hughes is a great player, but I think throwing a young college kid into the postseason, there's not many that can make that jump and make a significant impact positively. So. I don't know.
I mean, they're not all Cale Makar. He had no problem jumping right in, but he's a special breed of cat. And the Marlies have already clinched. They've won their division. So, maybe he'll go to the Marlies and he'll probably play more playoff games if he goes to the Marlies instead of the Maple Leafs.
Probably.
It's too easy tonight. It's just too easy.
Yeah, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit on this one. Alan K says, shame on the NHL for putting 16 games on the same night as the NCAA final. Today was the first day ever with 16 NHL games on one day. The beauty part of that, Alan, is yesterday there were 0 NHL games.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
0.
More brilliance. More game growth.
And what, 6 of the 16 were 7 o'clock starts? Wonderful.
Nailed it.
Yeah, well.
Like when you have 16 games on a Saturday, what is stopping you from going noon, 1, 1:30, 2, 2:30, 3? What are you?
Especially
what's
now,
stopping you from doing that
in the day and age of ESPN Plus, where people didn't watch hockey all day long? Like, why would you not? I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
You're not strict. People don't strictly watch their regional broadcasts.
But I think a lot of that has to do with the regional contracts.
Screw regional contracts.
I'm not arguing that. But it just, I'm guessing these regional sporting outlets have better lawyers than the NHL, so they get what they want. And it's frustrating when you're like, oh man, everybody's playing, but I can't. It was nice having a game on at 11:30 this morning, and another one right after that. I had hockey on all day at the house while I was. Unpacking everything, still unpacking. I'm going to be unpacking until Christmas at this pace. But and then we had a couple comments. Alan was talking about our offices, and yes, this is actually, it's not an updated office. It's a brand new office. I moved into a new house last weekend, so I spruced it up a little bit. But
I like it. It's nice.
Yeah, let's
put some. I get one room in the new house to do what I want with. So there are a lot of stuff that I didn't have on the walls at all at my last place that are now up on the wall, or were on different walls. My old office was a weird shaped room, so a little bit better.
Weird shaped rooms.
Yeah. My desk barely fit in the old office. So yeah, much more room in here now, and got to put some fun stuff up on the walls.
Well, at least you get a room.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not a
but we'd kill for that closet. We don't have a lot of closet space here, so
you want this closet, you can take it. There's a whole nother side of this closet that is not on screen right now.
Boy, I would kill for some closet space. That's why this room is such a disaster. Got a couple comments we want to get to. Windy City Hockey says that the Ice Hawks missed the playoffs. Do the Blackhawks and Ice Hawks front offices consider a different coach down in the AHL? Anders Sorensen still seems like he's not the right coach for a long playoff run.
No, he's not going anywhere.
They seem very happy
Anders because yes, not making the playoffs will be a big disappointment, but just look at how some of these look at Lukas Reichel. Look at his development. There's Anders Sorensen's job security. Some of these guys that have come up, Cole Gutman came up, eased right into the lineup. Some of these defensemen, Alex Vlasic has taken strides in his development. Isaac Phillips, they want him there for when this next crop of young guys get here over the next couple of years. He's developing them well. That whole staff is. So you got to remember, I know, when I was covering the Ice Hawks for all those seasons, people, there was a part of the fan base that didn't like Derek King because they weren't winning enough. Well, it's not necessarily, yes, winning is nice. Going on a long, deep playoff run would be nice for these prospects, but that's just a part of it. The main goal for the AHL team, and finally the Blackhawks are doing it. They hadn't for so long. They didn't care if they won, lost, or developed for so many years. The main goal for your AHL team is to get your young players ready to play for the NHL. So when their number is called right in the lineup, easily. And that's that's why Anders Sorensen isn't going to go anywhere, regardless if they make the playoffs, miss the playoffs, win the cup. Doesn't matter. He's going to be back next year unless, an NHL team comes calling and says, hey, we want him on our NHL staff as an assistant. Then that'd probably be the only way he's not back next year.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. And, there were bigger expectations in Rockford this year. They wanted that team to compete. They wanted to make a long playoff run. But when you look at like we talked about earlier, their big problem is offense, and the Hawks just don't have a lot of even AHL ready offensive prospects. Like a lot of the guys playing in Rockford are defensemen, right? Yeah, you had Josiah Slavin before you traded him. He never projected as a huge scorer. It was pretty much Reichel and Gust and that's
they've got some decent guys. They've all just gone cold at the same time.
Yeah.
David Gust has been not great since coming back from the NHL. Like he was phenomenal. He was putting up MVP kind of numbers. Brett Sini is over 20 goals on the season. Luke Philp has 24 goals on the season. So they've got like AHL veteran types, and that was the point. They brought back Dylan Sekura, but then traded him for Rocco Grimaldi, who is a AHL, all-star. So they do have guys that could score. The problem is they've all gone ice cold at the same time. They were dealing with a bunch of injuries, playing a bunch of guys that, were third liners on the Indy Fuel, all of a sudden have to play for the Ice Hawks. So just wheels fell off pretty quickly, but getting Reichel back, getting Vlasic back is going to solidify. Not only do you get those guys back, and they're going to be two of your top players, but then you could start filtering guys back down where they're going to be better than playing, maybe a lineup and can't handle it. And it's good for the Blackhawks too, because it's two of your best players tonight no longer in the lineup, and Taylor Radish is going to be gone for the rest of the season. We haven't even talked about that. So your two best offensive players, essentially, and Taylor Radish and Lukas Reichel, will not be here for the last 3 games of the season. So for you guys, hoping that they lose out and increase those odds for number 1, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, no Roy. I heard a pleased groan coming from his direction when the Taylor Radish and Lukas Reichel news was because he's the one who wants everybody benched. Just don't play anyone. Have Tommy Hawk out there and have him do it. There you go. No Radish, no Reichel. 3 games to go. It's going to be.
I mean, are they going to go 11 forwards, 7 defensemen here? Are they going to call up some 4th liner from Rockford to come play? I mean, they're losing 2 forwards. They had 12 tonight. So you've got 1,000 defensemen, though. Can somebody, for the love of God, just tell Jared Tenori to stop? We get it. You are a tough guy. You are a badass, sir. You have replaced Jake McCabe as the team's biggest badass. No one's ever going to argue that. But for crying out loud, dude, there's 3 games left. The Hawks are in last place. It's okay. No one's going to think any less if you say, I'm not going to do it right now. His hip injury is still nagging him. He's walking up and down the tunnel to stay loose, and then he comes back and wants to play some more. Come on, man. It's okay. You'll be all right.
People want him to come back and play next year, he needs a functional body to come back and play next year. Like,
that is an asset when playing hockey, a body that works.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah. That's why Dave Bolin retired. His body stopped working.
Yeah. So I think Tinordi, I don't expect him to stop, but someone should say, hey, take it easy. All right. It's for everyone's sake, for your sake and for the tank's sake. Like,
for his sake, they should
take it easy.
They need to do what they do in football when a player gets hurt and he wants to go back in. They hide his helmet. So hide his helmet, hide his gloves.
He might still hop over the boards.
Well, he'll get a penalty for playing without a helmet. Then he's in the penalty box and he can't hurt himself there. So it's all good.
It's true.
Yeah, it's enough. Jared, you have proven yourself. And I don't think anyone, like, you look at that guy, you're like, well, he's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't need any more evidence than your face. But the performance you've done this year is it's okay. You can rest now. Rest easy. It's, put you in mothballs for the rest of the year.
And you can and you can get England in there, you can get Kaiser in there more regularly. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, let's talk about Wyatt Kaiser a little bit. I know it did not have the greatest numbers on paper in this game. He finished a -3. By the way, Jared Torney -5. -3 for Wyatt Kaiser.
Another reason to shut it down.
Yeah, 20 minutes and 22 seconds of ice time. Had 4 shot attempts and 2 block shots. But, man, some really nice puck work from him tonight. He had the first period set up where he jumped into the play, went behind the net, and then fed a backhand pass from behind the goal line back through traffic to the other side of the slot to Lukas Reichel, who hit the crossbar. And then he also set up Tyler Johnson for a really nice scoring chance too. His puck movement is better than I expected it to be. And he looks a little more NHL ready than I expected too. And I don't know if he's in the conversation for, getting the leg up on an opening night roster spot next year. I still think that would probably go to Phillips or Vlasic at this point if we're looking at a kid to make the jump full time. But, man, I really like his offensive game. And his D's been okay, but just his confidence with the puck at this level already has been really impressive.
Yeah, I think he's making good strides. He, like you said, like, he had a couple of good plays tonight, but there's still some deficiencies there.
It isn't great.
Yeah, defensively, there's still some things to learn there. So I would not be surprised if he gets the same kind of treatment that Vlasic did, where once he signs his entry level deal at the end of his college career, gets a number of NHL games, and then next year he's probably going to play in Rockford for the majority of the season. Which is fine. He's going to be down there with another talented group of defensemen to play along with and get some significant minutes and significant learning opportunities. But yeah, I mean, so far there's nothing been glaring that says like this guy doesn't have it. So yeah, I think it's just kind of a feeling out process for him. There's going to be some good nights, some bad nights, and even within mediocre nights. There's highs and lows. So I think it's a good opportunity for him to play against teams like this. And I think he kind of got moved around the lineup tonight. He wasn't strictly with Jared Tinordi all night. I think he played a couple shifts with Seth Jones, which was good to see. And I think he made some pretty good subtle plays with Jones out there. Probably playing with a guy like Jones gives him a little bit more confidence that he can play a little bit more loosely offensively and have a little bit more creativity. But yeah, I mean, I think he was okay. Plus minus is not, it's not good to be a -3, but it's also like, are we burying Seth Jones because he's got the second worst plus minus in the league? I don't think so, because he's playing half of each game on this Blackhawks team. He's going to be a terrible minus. Like, that's just how the stat works.
Yeah, there were a couple of teachable moments. He's been good overall. There's not a whole lot I think it was the 5th Kraken goal where Geeky came up from behind him and just lifted the stick, took the puck, and 2 seconds later it was in the back of the net as he was moving up the left boards. I mean, but that's something that you can, sit down, do the video, and say, all right, you got to be a little more aware. You got to feel that guy coming up on you and get the puck up the ice quicker. But yeah, overall, I think Kaiser's been good, and I agree with you, Mario. I think he's he's going to get the Alex Vlasic treatment, and next year will be a year in Rockford, and then maybe post trade deadline, we'll see him up here for a few games.
Before we get to our 4 stars of the game and our king of the game, I want to read this quote from Luke Richardson after the game. He says, both Reichel and Vlasic had one of their best games, both of them. Vlasic looked a little more aggressive, moving pucks and skating pucks, shooting it on the one goal. Reichs was on the body on the forecheck, and when he had the puck, he was impressive. So these guys have made their impressions on Luke Richardson, and really I'm looking forward to next year, which sounds crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 3 to go, and got to remind everybody too, probably the last 3 games you're going to see Jonathan Taves in a Blackhawks sweater. So enjoy it. He had a couple nice moments today, a couple nice passes set up, had a chance to score and was denied. But he's been not great, but he's been effective in the games where he's been back. So hopefully we get some fireworks in that game against Philly, at least a goal or something. So nice. he has that last great moment as a Blackhawk. So. Anyway, shall we get to our 4 stars of the night?
Very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
The number 3 star of the game from the Kraken. It's so weird without the music. Daniel. Thank you. That dude is fast. He looked really good in this game. A goal, 2 assists, 3 points plus 2. He had 3 shots on goal and 2 more shot attempts. He was very impressive. Jared McCann is the number 2 star of the game. He had a goal and assist, was a +3, 17-29 of ice time, 4 shots on goal for him. And Jared effing McCann has 39 goals. How about that? And your number 1 star, Jamie Alexiak, he had 3 assists +4, 18-53 of ice time, a takeaway, and a block shot. Good game for him as well. He's your number 1 star. I gave my 4 star to Connor Murphy with 2 block shots, tied a career high in block shots on the season with 150. Chances are he will block another shot by the time the season ends, and he will surpass his career high in block shots. So this is more of a lifetime achievement 4 star for Connor Murphy, because he's a dude who does all the little things right. He's the guy that makes every team that has him better. He's a leader. He is vocal. He speaks his mind. He says the right things. He's a guy that I wish Blackhawks fans liked a little bit more, quite frankly. I don't know. I really like Connor Murphy. So looking for an excuse, there's an excuse. Ties a career high in block shots tonight with 150. Not tonight. He had 2 tonight, but 150 for the season.
That would be a record.
150.
Ow, ow, ow.
It's that video of the guy who always takes the like volleyball spikes or the soccer kicks right off the face.
Yes.
That'd be him. Yeah.
Who was the Hawk?
Do people not like Connor Murphy?
I don't think people dislike him. I think that he is thought of as
a while to warm up.
Well, because he was traded for Nick Jalmerson. Yeah.
Have you seen a Murphy jersey yet?
Have I seen a Murphy jersey?
No. Have you? I have not.
On the ice every time we're there.
Yeah. Okay.
I've seen. I sprinkled around. Yeah.
I'm surprised there aren't more, because all the people named Murphy that live in Chicago. I'm surprised people aren't grabbing those.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like he's not as, maybe beloved isn't the right word. I don't know if he's beloved worthy, but everything you talk about Hawks fans loving in a player, that's where Connor Murphy is. And it just, I don't know. I feel like most Hawks fans greet him with a shrug. Yeah. Maybe because he's never really been part of a good team here.
Wrong time, wrong place. And he tried to kill a guy tonight.
That's true. And I wonder if there's still some residue from the Jalmerson trade, but
yeah,
I mean, the Hawks obviously win that trade. He's still playing and playing well. So
yeah, Hawks definitely won that trade.
Yeah. So, all right, that's mine. Connor Murphy.
All right. I'm going to go with Andreas Athanasiou. This is your team, bud, for the last 3 games. It's all on you. So do something. He had a good game tonight. He had 2 assists, and even with the 2 assists was still a -2. But 4 shots on goal, 10 shot attempts. And look at this. He won 12 of 15 faceoffs tonight for
Ayo.
80% at the dot. This was a guy, his first game at center just a couple of weeks ago was 0 for 10. And now he's 12 for 15. So, hey, you know what? Credit to Luke Richardson for seeing something there, putting him there, and then not automatically yanking him after that 0 for 10 night. So good night for Andreas Athanasiou. Literally now the best player on the Chicago Blackhawks. That's where we are.
Jonathan Tays
Better than Seth Jones?
Matrix.
Best forward on the team.
There you go. Yeah, that I can agree with. Yeah, Athanasiou. I mean, hey, it's what was the stat? He tied his second best career season with 35 points. So hey, if you would have said Andreas Athanasiou would have tied his second best season when he in production when he signed here in the offseason, I think you would take that as a Blackhawks fan.
I think 35, 40 points was like really wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Right. Like
especially after those first few games. Yeah.
If you squint real hard, you can imagine that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. My 4-star of the night is a guy that we've talked about plenty tonight and over the last month. It's Lukas Reichel. Another fantastic game from him. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 shots on goal. He had an individual expected goals rate of 0.29, which was second best on the team tonight. He also created 5 individual chances, 4 individual scoring chances, and was part of a 3-way tie for the team lead with 2 individual high danger chances created. And look, like Luke Richardson said, he had one of his best nights tonight, and it's just in this stretch of him being called up, compared to all his call ups last year and his first couple this year, there have been at least 5 or 6 times where Luke Richardson has said, "Yeah, he's had one of his best games." Like that's all that you want out of Lukas Reichel. Wanted to see out of him, and I think he, if my math is correct, I believe his point total would have put him on an 82 game pace for 52 points this year, maybe 53. But that's pretty good. If he puts up 53 points next year in 82 games, I'm totally content with that. I think that would be great. I don't know if that'll lead the team. It might, but that'd be really good.
Petr Mrazek has 55 points this year.
Petr Mrazek what?
Has 55 points this year.
Yeah, so that's totally fine from Lukas.
Yep, I'll take that. All right, let's do our DraftKings King of the Game, and we're going to give it to, you probably know the answer, Seth Jones. Yeah. 2 goals. He was not a minus. 25-37 of ice time. They're not shutting him down. 5 shots, 2 more shot attempts, a hit, and 2 block shots. Really solid game for number 4. Bounced back after a couple not great games for him defensively, where there were a couple bad defensive moments. Good to see him bounce back and respond with a solid game, and not just the goals. I think he was making plays all over the ice tonight. So a solid night for number 4, Seth Jones. And I want to remind everybody that is our DraftKings King of the Game, and they are the official betting partner of CHGO and ALLCITY. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Mario is going to tell you about some beer. We're going to tell you about some other stuff. And then after that, we're going to do our tank standings, get to some super chats, and wrap the show up.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, do you like beer?
Yes.
Then you may like Goose Island beer, because Goose Island beer is good beer.
I do like it.
That's great. I like it too. Goose Island, the proud beer sponsor of us here at CHGO and Chicago's beer since 1988. And how can you argue with a deep and talented beer roster like theirs? With the Blackhawks Pale Ale, the limited release honoring the Blackhawks in this city. Also, the Bull City 312, another limited release honoring the Bulls and their play-in series. Going to need a lot of Bull City 312 to celebrate that play-in series that they've clinched. And of course, the Bourbon County Stout for the dark beer aficionados. You got the Beer Hug IPA series, and if you've taken a look at the weather over the next couple of days, I think we are finally into actual spring, and in a short amount of time, we're going to be in actual summer. And what that means is it's shandy season. So get the Goose Island lemon and tangerine shandies. Those are going to be great on those hot summer days. And of course, the always recognizable golden cans of the 312, the staple of Goose Island. You can get all of these beers and more at their 2 local locations, which are open and ready to welcome you. You can grab a beer right from their innovation tanks at the Goose Island Tap Room at 1800 West Fulton. Like I said a couple of days ago, keep that Goose Island Tap Room address saved in your phone. You might need it pretty soon. Or you can get yourself a smash burger and a fresh beer of the week at the original Clybourne Brewhouse at 1800 North Clybourne. For reservations and pickup, go to gooseisland.com/locations.
And I want to have a little conversation about the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program that it's committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve, helping managing energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future.
Yes, and I also want to have this conversation about ComEd. They offer a wide variety of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across their territory. Skinny customers, fat customers, all sizes of customers across their territory. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities like for HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes.
Wow. How exactly does that work, Jay? Can you tell me?
Well, they're going to get you in touch with an engineer, and they're going to work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to what you're looking for. They can be done in person or virtually, and they last about 2 hours. And then in 3 or 4 weeks, customers will get a report that details projects they can do to start saving and making more efficient energy around their places. And each recommendation will include estimated savings, cost savings, energy savings, project costs, incentives, and simple payback. If you own a business, don't wait. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment, go to comed.com/poweringbiz.
Did you say comed.com/poweringbiz as in BIZ?
Yes, that is what I said. You should go there and schedule your assessment today.
Good conversation, guys.
That was a great chat.
I love that conversation.
I think we knocked it out of the park. I want to acknowledge a $10 super chat from Alton V. Alton, thanks for hanging with us, man. We appreciate it. Alton said, just got out of the game. Funny story, as I was heading to my seats, I legit ran into Kevin Korchinski and the boys. I gave them all dabs. I was too excited. I forgot to ask for photos. That's awesome. Yeah, all the Thunderbirds were at the Kraken Blackhawks game tonight. And I wonder if any of them felt the want to rappel down Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania style and get on the ice and start helping the Hawks, because they probably could have used all of them.
Yeah, a little bit of help. Yeah.
Oh God, it's Kevin Korchinski's music.
wearing number 55 and not 14.
Yeah, I hope I made an impact on him during that conversation.
I don't think you did.
14? That's a terrible number for a defenseman. Give me one good defenseman that wore 14.
Kevin Korchinski.
Chris Campoli.
There you go.
Who?
Chris Campoli.
Good.
Chris Camp turnover.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
55 is a great number. And I'm biased because I wore it in all the sports, but it's an awesome number.
It does look, it does look good.
It makes them look bigger too.
The 55 is a powerful number.
Yes,
but it doesn't fit. I don't think it fits Korchinski's style of play. He's a more finesse guy. If he could be a single digit, that'd be great. But I don't think there's any single digits that the Blackhawks are going to be giving up anytime soon.
Yeah, number 8's available.
I guess.
You have to buy it from Boris Kachuk. 14.
14. Yeah. Well, if Kachuk's still around in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, hey, the Thunderbirds got a lot of time on their hands because they swept their opening series of Kelowna. Swept them right away.
Time to chill. Freshen up those legs. All right, let's get the tank standings updated, and then we'll spin the wheel. What's our like situation, Steven, if you're still awake?
I am awake. I will get that for you momentarily.
All right. Whatever it is, add 5, and we'll do another spin. Current tank standings. Columbus still – I'm sorry. My God, I misspoke. Columbus still with 56 points in 79 games. They have the lead over the Blackhawks because the Blackhawks, who also have 56 points in 79 games, have one more win than the Blue Jackets. That is the tiebreaker. Anaheim got a point in overtime. They lost in overtime today, but they picked up a point. So they're third with 57. And then San Jose and Montreal with 60 and 68, respectively. So it's really coming down to Columbus, Chicago, and Anaheim. So we'll see what happens. If the Hawks lose out, you got to hope Columbus helps them out and picks up a win. But, man, sending down Reichel and Vlasic and shutting down Taylor Radish, that's how you done,
that's all you can do to combat a Columbus team that is not an NHL team right now.
Put Petr Mrazek right back out there against the Wild on Monday. That won't hurt either.
Yeah. Or Anton Hudobin.
Sure. Yeah. Bring him back.
We have an
wake him up and put him out there for 60 minutes.
Remember when he just handed the puck to the guy? Like, here you go. Mind me, you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm retiring. He's like Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon. 2 days from retirement.
Yeah.
Too old for this shit.
Well, call him up anyway. We need him. We need
for it.
Ever, Anton. All right, let's do 2 spins for the hell of it because it's late night, and we'll do it here. And again, if the Red Wings or Blues win, we get a bonus extra spin anyway. So we're going to use Tankathon tonight. We've got 2 queued up. Maybe one more. We'll see if we're feeling frisky. Nothing changed.
No, I think it just quit. I think it just quit because there's literally no changes.
I think that actually worked. It just didn't change.
Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Yeah,
that's lame. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Yeah, we need it.
Something's got to change.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. That one didn't work.
I don't know if you need to reset after it doesn't do anything.
That changed. Not in a good way.
San Jose, Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago. Nope.
Nah.
We will not live with that.
Try one more. No California doubles over here.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, last one. Give it to us.
Washington, Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago. If you want to talk about rigging, that's what the NHL would do. Oh, we got to get that Ovechkin record. Let's get a Bedard.
Oh, can you imagine?
That would
suck.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's better than St. Louis or Detroit, so we'll live with that.
I guess.
All right, we're off tomorrow. Happy Easter, everybody. Hope it's safe. Hope it's fun. Hope you find all your eggs. I know I have a bunch that I've already hidden that I'm not going to remember where I put them tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. And we're back Monday post-game. Remember, Monday's game, 8 p.m. start. It's a home game, but it's 8 p.m. start on ESPN. So make your plans now. Don't say we didn't warn you. Don't get mad at us because it starts late. 8 p.m. ESPN, Hawks and Flames, right?
Wild.
Why am I thinking Flames?
Because they just played the Flames.
That's right. Hawks and Wild Monday. Should be fun.
Kirill Kaprizov is back. So hopefully he lights it up with like 7 points or something.
We'll get some gummy bears and some blondies, and we'll be good to go from our perch at the United Center, and we'll join you after the game. So thanks for being with us on this late night show. For Greg and Mario, I'm Jay. Thanks to Steven for running things on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.